The year is 2077. We thought we had conquered everything. We'd mapped the deepest oceans, built cities in the sky, and even planted our flag on Mars. We were the masters of our planet, the apex predator. Then the sky broke. It wasn't an alien invasion, not in the way science fiction had predicted. There were no silver ships or laser beams. It began with tremors. Deep within the Earth's crust, seismic activity that defied all geological models. Volcanoes that had been dormant for millennia roared back to life, not with lava, but with something far, far older. I was in Kyoto, working as a bioaeronautics engineer when the first one emerged from Mount Fuji. We called it Ryujin. It was magnificent and terrifying. Its scales shimmered like obsidian, catching the city lights in a hypnotic display. Its wings, vast leathery membranes, blotted out the stars as it ascended. It wasn't a creature of magic. Our sensors told us that immediately. It was biological, a silicon-based life form that generated and manipulated plasma from its core. Its roar wasn't sound as we knew it. It was a low-frequency pulse that shattered glass and rattled your very bones. Within days, they were everywhere. From the Andes, from the Mariana Trench, from the heart of Antarctica. A global network of subterranean titans, awakened by... What? We still don't know. A planetary cycle? A response to our own technological heartbeat. The theories were endless, but the reality was singular. We were no longer in charge. They weren't inherently malicious, not at first. They seemed more like a force of nature, reclaiming their territory. They nested on skyscrapers, their body heat warping the steel frames. They hunted whales in the oceans, their fiery breath boiling the surface. They were simply existing. But their existence was incompatible with ours. Our power grids failed, overwhelmed by the electromagnetic fields they generated. Our satellites were swatted from the sky like annoying flies. Our cities became their mountains, and our oceans their hunting grounds. Militaries responded, of course. We threw everything we had at them. Fighter jets were melted mid-air. Tank shells bounced off their crystalline hides like pebbles. We even tried a tactical nuke on a nest in the Gobi Desert. The mushroom cloud barely singed the creature's wing before it unleashed a torrent of pure, condensed plasma that turned a square mile of sand into glass. That was the day we understood. We weren't in a war. We were a pest being dealt with. My team at the Institute had a different idea. If we couldn't fight them, could we understand them? We captured their low-frequency calls, the rumbles they used to communicate across continents. It wasn't a language of words, but of mathematics, of complex fractal patterns. They were intelligent, profoundly so. They were discussing planetary weather patterns, tectonic shifts, and the composition of distant stars. We were living amongst gods, and we hadn't even been part of their conversation. That's when the reclamation began. They weren't just nesting anymore. They started actively dismantling our world. Not with rage, but with a chilling architectural precision. They'd melt down bridges, rerouting rivers back to their ancient courses. They'd topple communication towers, silencing our global chatter. They weren't destroying us. They were editing us out of the landscape, restoring the planet to a state we could barely remember from history books. I'm recording this from a subterranean bunker, one of the few remaining pockets of humanity. We call ourselves the Echoes, because that's all we are now. An echo of a civilization that thought it was the pinnacle of evolution. Above us, I can hear the deep thrum of their heartbeats, a constant reminder of our new reality. We made a mistake. We looked to the stars for the next great challenge, for the next frontier. We never thought to look down into the very heart of our own world. The dragons didn't invade our planet. They were always here. We were just borrowing it. And now our lease is up. There are children here in the bunker who have never seen the sun. They've only seen the orange glow that filters down the ventilation shafts when one of the archons, as we call them, passes overhead. We tell them stories of the world before, of blue skies and open roads. To them, it's just a myth, a fairy tale. But we are still trying. My work hasn't stopped. We're no longer trying to fight them. We're trying to talk to them. We've managed to replicate a simple sequence from their mathematical language, a prime number pattern. Last week, for the first time, we broadcast it. For 12 agonizing hours, there was nothing. Then, a single deep pulse rumbled back through the earth, a response that shook our entire facility. It wasn't a question or a threat. It was a single, perfect mathematical proof. It felt like an acknowledgement. Like a professor looking down at a struggling student and finally seeing a spark of understanding. We don't know what it means. Is it an invitation? A warning? A test? All we know is that for the first time since the sky broke, one of them talked back. We may be echoes, but an echo, by its very nature, is proof that a voice once existed. And we're not ready to be silent just yet. The age of humanity is over. Perhaps the age of communication is about to begin. Thank you for listening to our story. If you want to explore more worlds and what-ifs, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community. Stay curious,